Hey guys, Matt here. I wanted to show you something interesting on this grafted gillet or gillet tree that was grafted a year ago, and it is blooming. But what's interesting is that the rootstock is just a generic Chinese rootstock. I know. You're not supposed to graft this particular tree onto Chinese rootstock, just generic Chinese rootstock, because it outgrow the rootstock. I didn't know that at the time. I'm learning, guys. So what I did was, after I was told this after the fact, but luckily I kept a nurse branch on the rootstock, and so what I've done is to kind of slow the growth of the graft stock. I've kept this nurse branch on the rootstock, and what it has done is it's kind of slowed down the growth a little bit of the actual graft stock, but I still have to keep it in check a little bit, or it will outgrow the rootstock. And that's the problem with this particular variety of chestnut, is that it's very vigorous, and if you don't match it up with the correct type of rootstock that's more vigorous, it will eventually outgrow the rootstock and die. So my hope is that at least I can limp it along, and it will produce some pollen in my orchard, and maybe a few nuts. I'll get a few nuts out of it before that happens. Like I said, maybe to produce a little bit of pollen, spread it around, and I'll get some cross-pollination going in my orchard, and get some nuts off of some of the other trees that's cross-pollinated with this particular variety. So anyway, what's reason for this video is, what I've noticed is that this variety is very vigorous, and to that point is, this is a 3-year-old tree, the rootstock is, and the nurse branch has no blooms whatsoever on it. All right, so the nurse branch is 3 years old, basically. So it has no blooms whatsoever. However, the graft stock is 2 years old, and it is loaded with blooms. You know, it's gonna try to produce pollen this year, and I wouldn't doubt it if it doesn't try to have a few later on. I bet it sets a few nuts. So anyway, I just thought that was a little interesting, and it's growing quite well. And I'm gonna keep this nurse branch on this tree just to kind of keep the graft stock in check a little bit. And last year it kind of got out of hand. I had to prune it back a little bit, or it would have been a lot taller than what this is right now. And just kind of got to keep an eye on it so that it doesn't get too out of hand. So anyway, here it is, and it's growing good. So hopefully, like I said, I can limp it along until it can do what it's supposed to do, and maybe I'll get a few nuts off of it. And guys, I'm learning, so at the very least I can maybe even get some graft wood off of this tree and graft it onto the correct graft stock, and have my own correctly started gillet or gillet trees. I keep pronouncing that wrong, I think. So anyway, there you go.